Good morning, children. Our today's topic is of civics, that is functions of state government. Children, in your previous class you have already studied about the government, its meaning, its functions, importance and its working at different levels, that is local level, state level and central level. So in this chapter we will be studying about the functioning of the government at state level. You must have also heard about various official terms like MLAs, MPs, constituencies, legislative assemblies, etc. either in newspaper or in the news channels. So we will also briefly know about what is a legislative assembly and what does it mean by MLA. So first let's start with state. Now question is, what is a state? You need to understand it. Now you will say that in simple terms, state means different units of a country. Yes, that's true. Geographically, states are the different units which are divided and all together they make up one nation. But when we have to write the meaning of a state in political terms, then how will we define state? We will write it as a state is a self-governing political entity which is headed by a chief minister under the supervision of the central government. So you can write the meaning of the state as a state is a self-governing political entity which is headed by a chief minister under the supervision of the central government. Now what does the central government do? The central government consisting of the council of ministers, the upper house that is the Raj Sabha and the lower house that is the Lok Sabha, as well as the prime minister. What does it do? It looks after the development, functioning, working and growth of the whole country, of all the states, of all the cities, towns and villages of the country. So they have appointed chief minister for every state. Now there are total 28 states in our country. Every state has its own chief minister who is responsible to work with the help of a team of or set of ministers to look after the issues, the problems and to address the grievances of the people of a state as well as to see the progress of the state overall. So we can say that it is a self-governing political entity, which means that every state has its own state legislative assembly, every state has its own chief minister. So therefore we can say that it's a self-governing political entity. Now let's understand what is a state legislative assembly. As I told you that every state has its own legislative assembly, so first we have to understand the meaning of legislative or legislature. Now, if you remember, I had told you in your previous class that there are three organs of the central government: the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. I'll again recall it for you children. Legislature means that government body which has the authority to make laws for the whole country. Executive means those government bodies or those officials which have the right to apply the laws that have been made made by the legislative body. And judiciary, what does they do? They see that the laws are actually applied, and they also gives verdict on a hearing of a case. So they consist of all the courts of our country and the panel of judges. So altogether they are given one term, that is judiciary. Here also every state has its own legislative assembly. First of all, you need to understand that a state also has three organs, which is the state legislative, then state executive, and lastly state judiciary. State judiciary means the high courts. Alright, so we are talking about the state legislative here. Now legislative, I told you that they are those body or those governmental authorities who have the right to make laws. Here at state level, when the state is having a legislative assembly, it means it is a political team of ministers who has certain rights to make laws for the people of the state. And the members of the legislative assembly at state level are known as MLAs. MLA means the member of legislative assembly. Now they are the ones who have to make laws for the people of the state. What is the function of the legislative assembly? Legislative means to make laws, the government authorities who have the right to make laws. At central level, it makes laws for the whole country. At state level, the state legislative assembly, it makes laws for the whole state. And the working and the functioning of the state is limited and confined only within the borders of the state. They cannot function their powers or use their powers outside the borders or the territories of the state. For example, we are living in the state of Uttar Pradesh, right? And our chief minister, that is the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, is Yogi Adityanath. So Yogi Adityanath has the right to perform or exercise his powers over all the cities and all the people of the state who are living within the borders of Uttar Pradesh. But he cannot make rules for the people of another state, say for like Gujarat or for Maharashtra or for West Bengal, because his powers are only eligible to work within the borders of Uttar Pradesh, as he is allotted as the chief minister of UP only. Alright, so every state has its own state legislative assembly, which is the political authority or the government authority who have the right to make laws for the people of the whole state. The members of the legislative assembly are known as MLAs. Alright, just like the MPs, that is the member of the parliament, they are called as MPs. So member of legislative assembly at each state, at the state level, they are known as MLAs. And now the MLAs, they are elected by people. So we can say that they represent whom? They represent people. Every state or every city is divided into the various constituencies, and when the elections occurs, the people of those constituency or those area, they vote for their chosen candidates from their respective areas or cities or constituencies only. So for this purpose, the state has been divided into various cities as well as for various constituency. Constituency is that region from where the people can cast their vote in the favor of their chosen candidates, so that those chosen candidates can become MLAs and then join the state legislative assembly and also form the government. Now, the MLAs or the state legislative assembly and the chief minister, they have to see that the growth, progress and proper functioning and efficient and smooth working of the administrative system. It goes down well in the state, and they also have to see the growth of the people. They also have to see the development of the people, that all the facilities are provided to them nicely and they don't have any problem regarding education and basic amenities like food, clothing and shelter. Then public transport is also provided in each state, for which the state government is responsible. Then they also have to see that proper water supply, electricity supply, clean roads and smooth roads have to be provided without any ditches in between. The construction work, the infrastructural development work, the tax collection, the maintenance of birth and death certificates, all these various functions have to be performed by the state government. If the people have any grievances, any issues, then they can address it to the chief minister, and the chief minister is required to take readily. He or she has to take instant action on the problems of the people. And the central government, what does it do? It keeps on taking continuous and regular feedbacks from the state government on the working of it and the welfare and the progress of the people. If the people will not be happy from their current legislative assembly and the chief minister next time, they will not vote for those people who are working for their respective areas or who are working for their respective states, and therefore the government has to see that they keep the people happy from their working and actually work for their development and growth. Now let's move ahead to the legislative assembly and its different parts. Alright, so there are basically two types of state legislature. Let's talk about both of them. The first one is bicameral legislature, and the second one is unicameral legislature. Now, as you can guess by the name, bi means two and uni means one. So, bicameral legislature means all the states which have both the houses as their state legislature, which consists of the upper house as well as the lower house. Now, let me tell you what are the names of those upper houses and lower houses known as. So, the upper house in a state legislature, in a bicameral state legislature, is known as Vidhan Parishad or the Legislative Council. And the lower house, that is the second house of the state legislature, is known as the Vidhan Sabha or the Legislative Assembly. And unicameral legislature means all those states which have only one house, that is the lower house. Now let's talk about the states which have bicameral legislature as their state legislature. There are total 7 states which have bicameral legislature. I'll write down the names of those states here. So overall there are 7 states which have bicameral legislature. The first one is Uttar Pradesh, our very own state. Then second one is Bihar. Then Maharashtra. Tamil Nadu. Andhra Pradesh. Karnataka. And the last one is Jammu and Kashmir. So these are those states which have bicameral legislature, that is they have both the houses, the lower house as well as the upper house as the state legislature, and rest of the remaining states of the country they have only unicameral legislature, that is only having the lower house as their state legislature. Now let's talk about the lower house, that is the Vidhan Sabha first of all. It is known as Legislative Assembly also, as I told you, and the tenure or the duration of their working and the number of members of the Vidhan Sabha is all similar to that of Lok Sabha. That is, they work for 5 years, they are elected by people, and their numbers is approximately near about 500. So let's look at some of the points about the Vidhan Sabha.